Okay.
Hey,
Hey, I've been trying to get in for 5 minutes.
what happened?
It kept
Pay
saying
your
I
cable
had to
bill.
do the update.
Oh, did it make you do it?
Yeah, it wouldn't let me in. It said to join, I had to have the update.
Yeah, there was something, I got an email that said it wouldn't work after a certain date. Maybe it was June 1st.
It must have been. I'm gonna try this thing for a second. I'm gonna pause. Okay, I think we have all 5 of us and Allison's here, Patty's here. So I think we're good to start. I'm gonna start, well, good evening and welcome to the Village of Altamont board meeting for June 2020. I'm gonna start with the Pledge of Allegiance. You're welcome to say it along or you can listen to me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
United States.
States
The flag
of America,
the United
and
States
to
of
the
America,
republic
for
and
which
to
it
the
stands,
one
One
nation,
nation,
hands,
under
under
God,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty
liberty
indivisible,
and justice
with liberty and
for all.
justice
Okay.
for all. We
That
have to
was
plan it to be
interesting.
more of in
That's
a
supposed to go
round.
great on the recording, but thank you.
It's like one of those like echoes.
I'm going to look at my agenda here. So I'm going to start off with staff reports. I just have a couple of things for mayor's report tonight. I do want to thank the American Legion and the VFW for a small Memorial Day wreath ceremony. It was just a handful of people that gathered in Orsini Park on that weekend to do the changing of the wreath for the year. There's a really lovely wreath that was put there in its place. So the old one was taken out. I have some nice shots. We'll try to put those online soon. So thank you to them. The other thing, we sent out a nixle, but just to remind people that we had made the decision that summer camp for the Village of Altamont was canceled for this season. There's so much that goes into summer camp, including the hirings, getting certifications for the lifeguards, and not knowing, we knew we couldn't wait too much longer. So we had to make that decision, and the board obviously was aware of that as well, but we're coming back strong next year. We're aiming to see if we can get the pool open this season. We don't know yet. Technically that's in phase 4. We'd like to open it to the residents. We'll see how it goes, but we're waiting to hear. We've got everything ready to go as far as permits in place with Albany County and such, should something like that happen. More to come on that, I guess. And the last thing I want to talk about just quickly, so Joe is happy with me from the library, is the census 2020. We are, as the village, we're up to 70.5 response rate. Not much higher than we were last time. I think we were about 69 last time, but we're doing better. And so if you have not had a chance to fill out your census form online, please just take 5 minutes to do that. It really means a lot to us and to our funding going forward. I'm going to go down the list. Police department, I do not have a report for tonight at the meeting. Fire department, I don't think Kyle's here. Just checking the list. Nope. Okay. Public Works, there's not a report this evening, with the exception of saying they have begun their summer projects, which we talked about during budget season. So they're getting going on those things. We were a bit delayed because of COVID, but they've been, getting back to our regular rotations with staff. So we are good to go with many of the projects coming up. Let's see, Public Works. I would go to the treasurer spot there, and we've had a chance to review the vouchers in the office. Oh, did I skip something? Dean?
No, he did submit a report.
Well, yeah.
Jeff
Okay.
did.
Did you see? But I knew there wasn't anything extra this evening. Did you have any questions on that?
No,
Okay.
just it was a little different than what you were referencing.
Okay. Then he put more in it than when we last talked. So if you had the chance to go to the office and review the vouchers, could I have a motion to accept the abstract for this month?
So moved.
John is first and second. Oh, Nick, that was you. Sorry, I didn't see you. Nick is second. And can I have roll call, please?
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
Trustee Ganance,
In favor.
Trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
Trustee Scally,
In favor?
Mayor Denine.
In favor. I'm going to move down to the public comment portion of the meeting this evening. If you have a comment to share with the board, I would
Before you
ask-
do,
Sorry, John?
I just want to say thank you to the Altamont Community Tradition for posting the fifth grade Altamont Elementary School banner for all the graduating fifth graders, and that's very nice.
Nice. Yeah, thank you very much for
My
that.
son is one of the fifth graders.
Did it go up yet, John?
He's taking his picture tomorrow, and they're going to be doing a car parade.
Okay.
16th of June.
I just remember they said that we're going to have a banner in Orsini Park go up.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
yeah.
I
just-
believe so. My wife said she saw it on the way in, so after the meeting, I had to go take a look.
Okay.
I'm
Excellent.
sorry to.
No, it's fine. Besides John's comment, does anyone else have a comment? I ask you to raise your hand if you want to share a comment, and then I'll ask the phones if there's anybody after that. I don't see any movement. Anybody on the phone have a comment? And I don't hear a thing, so I'm going to move on to the agenda.
Carrie,
Yes,
I think they're muted.
they can unmute themselves, though.
Okay,
They can hear me. That's the thing. They can, if you, I did not, they're muted on entry, but they can unmute themselves.
okay.
Yeah, according to this. So, yeah, everyone's muted on entry and then you can undo it. Okay, going to item number 1. Consider authorizing transfer from general fund unappropriated fund balance to shared services account A1620.230, not to exceed $26,000 for the purchase of the community room audio and visual equipment. If you all remember back to our budget discussions, we had money from this year that was going towards our new sound equipment and some audio visual equipment as well. And we were hoping to have that done before the end of the fiscal year, but when COVID came into play, everything's been delayed. So that money would go right back to the general fund. So we are just approving taking that money for this fiscal year and using it for the same purpose. Does everybody have a question on that? You're good. Okay. All right. Could I have a motion, please?
I'll do it.
Michelle, will you be second? Nick is first.
Sure.
Sure. Michelle is second. Nick is first. Roll
Is
call,
Nick
please.
talking?
Just a little more clarification.
Dean, what?
Carrie, just a little more clarification on that, though.
What
Just
do
a
you-
little more clarification on,
What do you want to know?
this was going to be in next year's budget. I
No,
didn't quite catch what you said.
this was.
This was going to,
when
I
we-
don't remember
During the
now.
budget hearing, because of the, we had
Right.
the money put aside for the facade and some other things. We needed to repair our sound equipment and we had the money to do it within this past fiscal year, not the one that just ended. So we had said at those meetings that we would use a chunk of that money for that. And it was hopefully to be, obviously the work to be done by the end of the fiscal year, but that did not happen. So the money we were going to use
Right.
on that,
Okay.
we're just taking it out for that purpose in the new fiscal year that we're in.
In this year, out of this year's budget. Okay.
Well,
right.
correct, but it's the general fund, the unassigned. That's where the money went back into. There's no budget impact for us.
At the last meeting we discussed, we're going to be
Right, I
doing,
just-
sorry.
Does that make sense?
It does now. I just misunderstood when you first said
No
the
problem.
process.
Okay.
Thank you.
It was hard to write how to write it for the agenda. We were trying to figure out the best words to do that. All right, so where did I leave off on that? Sorry.
And
Did
you
I
ultimately
roll call?
decided for both, right?
Yeah, we did, but we
Because-
decided for both.
Yeah.
We have Nick and Michelle. Did I do a roll call, Patty?
Not yet.
All right, sorry. Roll call, please.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
Trustee Ganance,
In favor.
Trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
Trustee Scally,
In favor.
Mayor Denine.
In favor. Item 2 is consider approval to hire Adrian Bush, Bozenkill Park Summer Recreation Director at $20.81 per hour. Just a little clarification on this, although we are not having summer camp per se. The Bozeman Hill Summer Program, Adrian has been in charge of both the park itself in the summer, the pool, and the camp, and all the personnel. I don't know that we're gonna have, depending on what happens with the pool, lots of hours, but she has work she has to do annually every year as far as filing reports and such like that. And we've been using her, we're trying to take advantage of this opportunity to do some improvements down at the camp facility. So, because we never have this opportunity, and I know Dean and I walked down there to take a look at things, and then Jeff Muller came with me as well, and we're going to do kind of a phase 1, and she's helping us with that. So could I have a motion for item 2?
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Dean, and second,
Second it.
and John, and roll call, please.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
Trustee Ganance,
In favor.
Trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
Trustee Scally,
In favor.
Mayor Denine.
In favor. Item 3 says, consider approval of summer food truck event in Village Hall parking lot on Monday evenings during the months of July and August. This was something we also discussed back during our budget workshop times. It was an idea, a program we wanted to start this summer. It may not start. It's one of those things we're not sure of. It was for one night a week, kind of bringing something fun and positive, trying to get people down from the campgrounds into the village. And this is going to be kind of a placeholder. Perhaps it may be able to take place even on a limited basis this summer. We don't know yet, but I will go forward from now on and see what we can do. But this will then at least reserve the space for the possibility. Does that make sense? I think people are.
I'll make that motion as well.
Okay, Dean made the motion.
I'll second it.
Who said that? I'm sorry, Nick. Was that
Nick,
you? Okay,
yeah.
Nick. And roll call, please.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
Trustee Ganance,
In favor.
Trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
Trustee Scally,
In favor.
Mayor Denine.
In favor. Item 4 is consider holding a public hearing on July 21st, 2020 at 7 p.m. to consider adopting local law number 2 of 2020, a local law to require emergency Knox boxes for commercial buildings within the village of Altamont. Nick, can you talk to this a little bit or speak to this a little bit for us?
Sure. Yeah, this is something that the fire department has been asking me about for a couple of years now. Every once in a while when they get a call within the village or the district, it's not always easy for them to gain access to commercial buildings. And sometimes they have, other issues or disagreements with some of the people on the premises. So they've asked, can we have a local law covering the village that basically mirrors what everyone else in the town outside the village has, which is to have this Knox box in place. I kind of understand, Dean, you had a question via email about, why does this need to be a law? I think the way Allison described it makes sense. It takes away the discretion that our current code enforcement or fire enforcement official has. We're mandating it at the village level that we want every commercial building that's outlined in the law to have a lockbox that our emergency responders can access. That's basically it.
Okay.
Nick, I had a question for you.
Yeah.
You said most municipalities.
Do we need to make a
so-
motion first?
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
Before discussion, we need to make a
Oh,
motion.
actually, so I mean, we can do that, but again, we're not voting on it tonight. We're just
No, it's just
holding
public
a public hearing next time, but I'm more than happy to take questions, sure.
Do you want to do the motion first,
All
Dean?
right.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, so Nick.
No,
made-
that's all right. He's right. It's not really about the,
Yeah, it's not
I'll
about
second it.
the law itself, not yet. All right, Nick made a motion to hold.
Yeah, I
a
was
public hearing. Is there a second?
correct.
I'll
And I
second.
seconded.
Second is Dean. Okay, let's finish the discussion for a
Okay.
second. John, why don't you ask your question?
Yes, most municipalities have this in place, you said. Is it where, does it go in Albany, Schenectady, or?
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's not a super big secret, but when you go to a commercial building, you'll see these small little black boxes near the
Okay.
front entrance with like a red mark on it. That's the Knox box. And essentially, first responders have a special key that can open that. And within those boxes are the keys to those premises.
Mhm.
The way that emergency responders gain access varies from place to place. Usually, like in our town, the keys are locked within the fire apparatus, and they can only be unlocked through a special code that the dispatcher sends through the radios. So it's logged, it's controlled, it's not, it's a very secure method of doing that. And then within the town, I believe the patrol supervisors and the paramedic supervisors also have one of these keys in case they're like the first one on the scene.
So it would be like a code enforcement officer would have like a master key.
No,
No,
code enforcement would not.
No.
Okay.
These are for first responders in the situation of emergency where during the, can't think of the word, as they're responding to the emergency, if they need to gain access to the property, they're able to access these keys and access the property without damaging it. Is the big thing. So if there's like an automatic fire alarm or a sprinkler that they get called in for, instead of breaking down a door or waiting for somebody to show up with a key, which might cause more damage, they can unlock the door, attend to the emergency. If it's a false alarm, they can lock the door up and be on their way.
It makes sense. I think I can see this happening.
And I think the other question you had, Dean, was about the cost. I had asked Paul a couple months ago what these things cost because I was concerned as well. They're less than $400 a piece.
Yeah, they're about $300. Yeah. Yep. You
And
didn't
it's
think it'd be
only
that much money for such a tiny little thing, but
Yeah.
they're pretty beefy.
Yeah, the magic is actually within the Knox box key holder within the apparatus that are like radio controlled. These are literally just boxes with a lock on them.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So, sorry, Dean,
It's
something
a-
else?
Well, just a couple of follow-up questions. I mean, obviously you saw my email. I'm not really sure we need to do this, but if the fire department feels that we need to do this or they want this, that's fine. One technical question or follow-up question: do we need to define what a business is? I mean, are home businesses classified as business? Are they going to have a Knox box? Is it limited to the number of staff for a business? If I have a
It's based
business
on
of
the-
one or two, do we
Allison,
need a
it's-
Knox box?
It's based on the property, right? Not the business.
Yeah,
Commercial
it's
property.
commercial property.
Commercial is a business district?
It's not limited to any particular zoning district. It's
Okay.
the law is commercial buildings located within the village. So, the intent, I had in writing this, it would be, any use that classified, as a commercial building use in the village. If you have a concern about, home occupations, I wouldn't think that would qualify because I think, we also have the qualifier in here that it's only applicable to commercial buildings that have, I want to get the right, I want to get the
Or a
right,
sprinkler.
or an automatic sprinkler system, right? So if it is, if it is a, I don't know that there'd be a home occupation that has, the kind of, occupancy that would require an automatic sprinkler system, under the fire code. So, I think, for the most part, it wouldn't apply.
They wouldn't. Yeah. And I was just curious that whether or not that applied. I think, and I didn't look in the code to be honest. That's it's not really an accessory use, but it's similar to an accessory use of a residence. isn't it?
residential.
Is that how our code works? So it really is a residential structure. Okay. All right.
Okay,
Okay.
Yeah,
then can
I'll add,
So we just
I'll
need to
add,
vote on the public hearing,
all right,
right?
hold on, Nick has one thing.
yeah, I was going to add one last public service announcement. Knoxbox does make residential versions for this. So if you're someone that is not, at your house all the time, like if you're a seasonal resident and you were worried about something like that happening, you could get a Knoxbox for your residence. And in the case of an emergency, fire department or police department could go in and out. So PSA on that one.
Yeah, that's good to know. Okay, can I have roll call, please?
Trustee Whalen,
In favor for the public hearing?
Trustee Ganance,
In favor.
Trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
Trustee Scally,
In favor.
Mayor Denine.
In favor. Item 5 is consider approval of board minutes for May 5th, 2020. Could I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I'll make that, or John makes it. I'll second
John
it.
got there first. Dean, will you
I'll
be
second.
second? Okay. Dean is second. Roll call.
Sure.
Trustee Whalen,
In favor?
Trustee Ganance,
In favor.
Trustee Farronkov,
In favor.
Trustee Scally,
In favor.
Mayor Denine.
In favor. Before I go to item number 6, does the board have anything else this evening? No?
No.
I have one thing. It's very not related to our agenda, but still related to the village on a whole. And I just a couple words, and truly my opinion. This is not the board's opinion, but I wanted to take a moment to thank both our ZBA and planning boards for the work that they're doing and have done. To me, it was very disappointing to hear once again that one of our boards, most recently the planning board, was subject to some, I think, extensive and inappropriate criticism for their ongoing work on an application. You know, whether it be taking their words out of context and was it to try to humiliate or bully them, I don't know, but it was very disrespectful, in my opinion. These boards, I hope everyone knows and understands, they work countless hours on whatever the work or application is that comes in front of them. And they do that because they're residents here and they're invested in their community and they are volunteers. Historically, you know, I know Dean can back me up on this. I think that we've always prided ourselves on having an elevated conversation, even when we don't agree on issues. It's always been top notch as far as I'm concerned. And I understand freedom of opinion, freedom of speech, but, you know, writing in, you know, having letters to the editor, they've really hit a new low recently. And I apologize to those boards that you have to keep going through this. So these are your neighbors, and I would ask you to please treat them respectfully. They deserve it. I know the village board truly appreciates and is so grateful for all the work you do, sincerely. So I'm going to just end there with my opinion and ask for a motion to adjourn, if somebody will make that motion.
So moved.
John, and second would be
I'll do it.
Michelle. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Great. Thanks, guys. Have a great night. I'll make a reminder to the public that our meeting in July, I said it earlier, but it is later in the month. It's the 20th, I believe. So we'll have the link. Hopefully, well, maybe we'll be in person. I'm not sure about that at this time. More to come on that. So have a great night and stay safe. Thank you.
Night all.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
Bye.